some cases, DA ministers have literally achieved more in 12 months than ANC ministers did in 30 years. And perhaps this is the real source of the ANC's double standards towards the DA, because they know that the DA is succeeding. They know that the performance of DA ministers makes some of their contributions pale into insignificant. And most importantly, they know that the opportunities for looting and stealing of public money are shrinking wherever the DA is present and wherever DA reforms are implemented. This flagrant double standard that protects the likes of Simelane and Kabane but acts against Whitfield proves that in the ANC's universe, the only things you dare not be are competent, honest, and hardworking. But sadly, this is not an isolated incident. It is about a pattern of disrespect, arrogance, and double standards. The ANC has refused to implement Clause 19.3 of the Statement of Intent that requires sufficient consensus to resolve disputes, directly undermining the GNU and the original Statement of Intent. And the President's now refusal to act against corruption within his own ranks, but singling out as a priority a DA Deputy Minister, risks confirming that his oft-repeated public commitment to clean governments is a sham. Until he replaces words with action against corruption within his own ranks, the DA sees no further point in wasting our breath in endless talk shops with the ANC. For that reason, the Democratic Alliance's Federal Executive, which met at 1 p.m. today, has resolved to withdraw from the national dialogue with immediate effect.
South Africa is well alive and is accustomed to a culture of dialogue and engagement. The ANC won't comment on matters that are of important but a technical nature or operational nature because we are not government. We are a movement of the people of South Africa. We are represented in government. It is government through the Office of the Presidency that can comment on matters such as the cost of that dialogue. But you cannot dismiss the significance and the profoundness of dialogue in South Africa. The Democratic Alliance has also said something in the direction of not going to support the passing of certain budget votes, particularly those pertaining to the Minister of Human Settlements, Thembi Simelane, and the Minister of Higher Education, Kabane. Well, I suppose they do reserve that right. It happens all the time in Parliament. It is an attempt to disrupt the workings of the Government of National Unity. We note that. But secondly, the ANC caucus also reserves the right, should it require to do so, not to support the budget votes where the President has appointed DA ministers. But because we are interested in the success of our country, it is important for us to come into a conversation. The ball is now in the court of the Democratic Alliance to make a decision about whether they are part of the Government of National Unity or they are a quasi-opposition party within the executive. The Democratic Alliance, it's not the ANC that went out of the statement of intent and mobilized against transformation policies. Go to the statement of intent. The statement of intent is very clear. It says that all the parties that are signatories to that statement of intent will not tamper with redress policies. It's there in black and white. The DA has been to court, I don't know how many times, challenging the Land Expropriation Act, challenging the Bella Act, challenging the NHI Act, challenging the employment equity legislation. Those are four major transformation legislations. And they, of course, furiously campaigned against broad-based black economic empowerment. And I think it is for South Africans to figure out who is violating the agreements and the agreements that are contained in the statement of intent. It is the DA that went abroad to the United States to complain about these redress policies and lobby other like-minded right-wing organizations in the US. It's not the African National Congress. And of course, we all know the implications.
If they propose a motion of no confidence, it means they then are out of the GNU. We will wait for when they want to do that. And then if they do that, then they are out of the GNU, and the ANC will deal with those matters. Tomorrow, we will reflect on these developments as the National Working Committee and decide what needs to be done. But it's vividly clear that we are behind the president, and at the same time, we are not moved by any threat, including ultimatums. Government is not run by ultimatums. If you respect each other, they must learn to speak properly through us, not through ultimatums. You can't give an ultimatum to a person whom you serve in his executive. They have a choice. If they think that this government of national unity doesn't serve them well, they have a choice to leave. So they have a choice to stay. And we also have a choice to work with everyone for the interest of the people of South Africa. It is not good for the economy that the DA want to hold government at ransom. At all time when there is a difference, they threaten with walking away. It's a blackmail. You can't run a relationship on the basis of blackmail. And you need to respect your partner. Here we are not being respected. Every time there is a point of difference, they threatened to go. There will be differences in this government of national unity because we did not come here as like-minded political parties. Those things that unite us outweigh those that divide us. So it cannot be that once we differ on a single issue, including the removal of a deputy minister of an opposition in the GNU, then that party threatens with walkaway and threatens with a motion of no confidence. Government is not running.
Runs out of words. One runs out of emotions. One runs out of recipe. As jy nie 'n koek kan bakkie, kan jy hom nie bak nie. Hou op and go to Woolies or Checkers. Because whatever they are using in this recipe, in the GNU, in the relationship between the DA and the ANC, they are running out of recipes and they're running out of concept of how to deal with matters. Now, in the past 2 days, we've had the president using his prerogative, this is now the new word we will be focusing on, prerogative, under his Section 93 to hire and fire cabinet ministers and deputy ministers, and he did so. So this week, Mr. Andrew Whitfield, a DA deputy minister appointed to the cabinet by the president, was told that he was very naughty and that he is going to be fired because he didn't have permission to travel to a country on his own accord, paid for by the DA, and that he didn't get the clearance. That sparked an immediate reaction now on the other side, like you cannot imagine, on the DA screaming foul play, red card, and that the punishment on Mr. Whitfield was over-exceeded, extra ferocious, and that they are absolutely not happy with it. Also to the fact that, again, the ANC did not let the DA know, again, that the DA was not consulted into this, and even when John asked, apparently, for 2 days, 24 hours, to consult with his party and with the minister in question, that when John walked out of the office 3 hours later, they sent it in any case. That then sparked this whole flare-up. And here we go again, Chris. They're going to leave the GNU. So now we know from insiders that there was a massive, massive call from people within the DA that they leave. And that this is the last straw of many other little straws that have been broken, some of them that we as public don't even know about. Now, Chris, when you decide that you are going to get into a partnership, a consortium, a coalition, a partnership for life, then there are rules. But in politics, those rules all seem to have a caveat, which says you will not do this, until you hurtful. You shall not break this until you hurtful. It's that little thing that seems to creep up every time. And now, in a huge build-up, a crescendo on Saturday, where even I was saying, please leave the GNU. This is an opportune moment. Kapela. We now get told they are going to leave the national dialogue.